because it was one time, you know, a part of it. It's just like she's still on the Australian coins. So they said, so Queen Elizabeth rules the world. You know, yeah, kind of that's the case. So what happens when Prince Charles comes, takes the throne? They got to redo all the money. Is ultimately what it comes down to. And they go, really? I go, yeah, well, you know, if you go to hsn.com, you know what I have? I have like Napoleon coins that are like Napoleon from 1811. We have, and I think they're actually sold out right now, King Constantine. I mean, like the Constantine from Constantinople that are 2,000 years old on hsn.com. So it's a thing that's been going on for a couple millennia.
Yeah, you know, well,
just a thing.
He's the king of coins. Right? He rules the world of coins, and he does, seriously. But no kidding, you get such an education process with Mike. And the other great thing and comfort level with shopping for coins, if you're shopping for the first time at HSN, it really is what you say it is. And so I want you to stick around. I want you to learn about this coin, but more importantly, if you're going to buy it, I want you to buy it here, and I want you to buy it now for a lot of different reasons. We're doing free shipping. We're doing 4 flex pays. But Mike, that's just it. It's kind of the Wild West out there. There is actually, I think there's more stuff happening in the world of coins probably in the last year than
year and a half or so.
Yeah.
The United States government has upped its game to incredible new heights. They did in 2019, they did the special enhanced reverse proof eagle that went from $70 to $9,000 in 2 months. They did the Apollo coins. They did the West Point Minute coins that they released. They're just doing everything. They're really up in their game. 2020, I think, is going to be even better. Because the United States government did something that I think is spectacular. They made the announcement. You're looking at it. This is it. They are going to change the design of the American Silver Eagle in 2021.
That's a big deal, folks.
That is a huge deal. The United States government is loath to change the designs of their coins. As I said, I've explained earlier that I'm oldish, I guess is the best way to put it. They have never changed the Roosevelt dime in my lifetime. They have never changed the Kennedy half dollar in my lifetime. They've changed the Lincoln cent one time in my lifetime, and will only be one time in my lifetime. They have never changed in my life the American Silver Eagle, but they're going to do it next year. They're changing the American Silver Eagle. So when they do those things, those transition coins that you're gonna have, those legacy coins, become increasingly popular, become increasingly more difficult to get. You know, so other countries, they change their coinage all the time. The United States government simply does not. This now becomes a closed-end limited edition. Now we had the Annex first day of issue proof American Silver Eagle. I think we still have 300 or 400 or 500 of those. You can find whatever's left in the edition. There's 3,196 in that edition. You can find the balance of those on hsn.com. But this is the NGC version. Everybody always asks me, you know, what's the deal with the different grading companies? Yeah. There's 3 major grading companies. There's 4 recognized grading companies. ICG's a little smaller, but still one of the recognized companies. The major grading companies are Annex, NGC, and PCGS. We do our level best. We do our level best to offer from all of the grading companies, because some people do have preferences. Some people collect. I collect all of them myself. And so for the NGCs, everybody has been waiting for us to offer the NGC proof American Silver Eagle. As you can see, we've done some NGC Mint State Eagles, but this is the first NGC proof Silver Eagle that we have offered in the brand new 2020. So remember, end of the era, if you will, is really what we're talking about. Kings and queens, you know, the king is dead, long live the king next year with the new 2021s. So it's a big deal. So let me explain to you why this is critically important. First of all, this is my regular price on NGC proof Silver Eagles and proof 70 Ultra Cameo.
So even if the end of the era weren't happening.
Right. But more importantly, the United States government, we price these coins, just like I did the Annex version. We priced them at the end of last year before the United States government released the coins. Now they've released the coins, and they just pulled a fast one on us, in all honesty. They raised the price 20%. So legitimately, I should be $240, $249, $239 on this coin. But we had set our price, you know, and so when we do that, I want to, you know, we want to do what we say we're going to do. So I've held this price at $199.95 for the Proof American Silver Eagle. Now, there's two things with this. So they're changing the design. I think that the 20% increase in price will have a chilling effect on the sales of the early coins as people don't realize.
Right.
Okay? As people don't even begin to realize that the design change is happening. This was a very quiet announcement by the United States Mint. We only found out because we were at a Mint symposium that they called us to, the 20 biggest, basically the 20 biggest coin dealers in the United States and the world, and that's when they told us when that was done, because so we knew this was coming. Well, it was coming out. They've made a press release technically for this.
Were they quiet about the 20% increase?
Yeah, well, they didn't say anything, right, until someone goes, whoa, where'd that come from? I understand silver went up a buck or two, so we figured, you know, they'll go up 2% or 3%, like, you know, silver's up 5%, but they went up 20%.
Wow.
Get it now, particularly at this pricing. I have my early quantity on this that I can honor the $199 price point. This is the first time this year I have now offered the NGC Proof 70 American Silver Eagle. We've done the Annex coin. We did the NGC Congratulations Eagle, which I think is in the next hour, as a matter of fact, with our flag core. I'm just doing the basic NGC Proof 70, perfect. Now here's the secondary part of this. The Proof Silver Eagle is ridiculously difficult to get in Proof 70 condition. Really? It always has been. Okay. I know, okay, you know, the Mint takes extra time. They strike it multiple times at higher pressures to give you this absolutely beautiful coin, but here's the problem. Look at this. As you said, you know, you get your special glasses on.
No kidding.
Look at this right here. Look at that mirror field. Oh. So what happens is it picks up everything.
Boy, it does, doesn't it?
So what happens is it becomes incredibly difficult to get that coin perfect. To get that coin perfect is what you have. And we started, I think we started with probably about 1,100 or so, something along those lines. We've already got about almost 150 of these gone. Understand, this is the quantity that I have at $199. That's it. I've got these coins. Then I'm going to have to reflect the price increase that the United States Mint has put into this. And that's something I don't want you to have to pay the price for, because that's what's happening out there in the marketplace as people are figuring out that this is so incredibly difficult to get, that it's the end of the era. The United States government is changing this design. This will become one of the single most desirable coins, I think, ever released by the U.S. Mint.
Can I put you on the spot? And I hate to do this, but I've known you a long time, so I'm going to do it anyway.
Sure.
It's hard to quantify this, but could we make the argument, in a way, this is one of the coins to get in this 2-hour show?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
Hands down.
And let me explain to you, because it's a legacy coin.
Right.
Okay. So in other words, it's the end of the end of the era is what it comes down to. And when you look at those coins from a standpoint of collectible coins.
Right.
So for instance, let's take a look at the Liberty V nickel. 1883, very first year of issue, so similar to the 1986. In a nice, brilliant, uncirculated condition, you know, I'm going to be $100 on that coin.
Okay.
The last year of issue is 1913. Nice, brilliant, uncirculated condition. I'm going to have to charge you about $8.5 million. Okay, so that last coin, give or take,
you know,
if I could find one. There's only 13 in existence. Okay, so that's a big deal. St. Gaudens gold coin, the $20 gold coin, 1907, the first year of issue. It's a really good coin. Really nice example of that. I'm going to have to charge you maybe 60 grand. But the last year of issue, 1933, if I could come up with it, I'd probably have to charge about $35 million for that coin.
Good look.
It's the most expensive coin in the world. It's the last year of issue.
But 1907, 1933, not the end of a decade.
Right. And so now you've got the end, and understand.
So it's like triple fold.
Absolutely. So now you've got the 2020, which is kind of this numerology number anyway, okay, with 2020. So that adds to the collectability. It's the end of a decade. It's the end of 35 years of American Silver Eagle mintage that you have right here. So you've got that. So you got the end of the mintage as well. They're going to get to the new one. Next year's is going to be absolutely positively insane.
It's not more
but you
money,
have to have this. No.
Even though it's 20, was it 20?
Should be.
Should be.
Should be 20.
Should be.
And here's the thing. So what's going to happen is going forward, and it's like, it's not like, okay, I got to buy it at the cheaper price, so I'll keep it at the cheaper price. We're just kind of contracting this. So now I had to pay, I have no choice. I had to pay 20% more. What we're doing is just holding this price for you right here, right now, but you have to take advantage of it. That's the key to this. And so understand, 1 ounce pure silver, do not confuse this with the Mint State Eagle. So you're going, well, you know, you got 900 of those. Okay, the Mint State coin, which the HSN price is $119.
Right.
We sold $12,299 in one day.
And it sold out early.
Sold out early on that. Okay, that's
early.
the HSN. So now I have the proof coin, which with the 20% increase, the United States government charges 300% more for this coin.
Oh, my word.
Okay, 300% plus more for this coin than they do for the Mint State coin.
Wow.
And then what's going to happen is that they're also going to do an S-Mint later in the year.
Okay.
Okay, and the S-Mint, so what it's going to do is, you know, people are going to want the S-Mint, but you got to have to get the West Point Mint, this coin as well. You've got to get this last year of issue. So once again, President Ronald Reagan signs the Liberty Coin Act into law in 1985. They start minting the American Silver Eagle in 1986, creating overnight the most popularly collected silver coin in the world today. From 1986, uninterrupted until 2020, they have made the Mint State American Silver Eagle. They've also made the Proof Silver Eagle, except for 1 year.
Right,
and in 2009, because of snafu, they didn't make any Proof Silver Eagles. Who knows if that could happen next year? What if they start next year's, they start the design change early on this, and this coin has an incredibly abbreviated mintage? I don't know. That's pure speculation. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
It's probably not the case, but I don't know.
Right.
I mean, they spring this on you. They don't include us in their plans.
I'm shocked to hear that.
Yeah, me too. That's the funny thing. People think that people think that we get this incredible, we have this incredible relationship with the Mint. They give us all this. Yeah, that's right. We get all this special treatment. They don't treat me any different than anybody that walks into the Mint store at the Philadelphia Mint and buys a coin.
Don't they know who you are?
They do, but they just don't care. And to some degree, I say good on them.
Yeah, well,
because
true.
it's very egalitarian. Everybody has an equal chance to do this.
Yeah.
So you can go buy this coin if you want. Okay, so now you have to buy it with shipping and handling and everything ungraded, uncertified. But of course, to get a guaranteed proof, you're going to have to buy about 3 coins.
Sure you are.
Now you're going to have to grade 3 coins. At NGC, to grade a coin, so you have to send in your coins. Let's say you're going to do 2 coins.
Okay.
You have to send in your coins, certified registered mail. That's $24. Okay. Then you have a $10 handling fee. Then you got to pay, I think, $8 for grading, and then you got to pay $24 to send them back to you. So you got 56, you got about $120, $140 in the grading. Then with the coins that you just bought, you got about $300, $350, and you're not guaranteed a Proof 70 is what the problem is. That's why you need to get in on this right now. Understanding that this is NGC, it's Proof 70, it's Ultra Cameo. People always ask me, what does Ultra Cameo mean? You familiar with cameo jewelry?
Sure.
Okay, you know, you have that background, that nice kind of coral-colored background, and then kind of the white design or device of the piece of jewelry. That's what it is. That's what that comes from, is this is a cameo piece. If you look at a regular quarter, the device of the coin, or regular silver dollar, the device of the coin doesn't stand out like that, like that piece of cameo. So you have a cameo, you have deep cameo, and then you have ultra cameo. So additional designator of value.
A couple of things, though. I mean, with the last 800, now, a couple of designators. That quantity left is not linked to the number of people who are choosing to order, and there's a lot of different ways to order. The other caveat is a lot of people shop after the fact. They watch Mike, and then by the time he comes back, they're gone. So use this information for what you will. That's why I kind of was, baiting the issue when I asked Mike, is this one of the coins to get? So if you are new, one of the coins to get for several different reasons, not just one. 30-day return policy, so you could get it at home, you could consider that purchase. You get it for this show for free shipping, that's it. So even if there are a few
I'm just not even used to that whole free shipping thing in coins. So it's just not even a thing for us.
It's not. You get it on FlexPay, which, by the way, if you could find this elsewhere, I could pretty much promise you nobody else is going to absorb that 20% increase.
No.
They're not going to give you a 30-day return policy.
Let me give you an example.
Give us a little education.
So the United States government made this great American Silver Eagle, okay, that they charge $70 for.
Okay.
And the price went crazy. I bought about 50 of them out in the marketplace from various dealers at an average price of $350 a piece.
Oy.
Every single solitary one of my orders were canceled.
Oh, were they?
Of course, they're not going to give them to me if the price goes up. If they got to pay more, the price goes up. You're on your own. What are you thinking? This is like a contract or something? And I'm going, yeah, but it doesn't matter. That's not the way it works here, folks. When we sell you this coin, the price goes up. Let's say silver goes up $10 an ounce. The price on this goes up 20%, 30%, 50%. It does not matter. You're going to get your coin. The very last coin in NGC, Proof 70 Ultra Cameo. It is going to be one of the most significant coins ever released by the United States government. That quantity that you saw is the only quantity that I have at $199. We started with 1,100.
Yeah, period.
Like 8-10 minutes ago.
If you weren't here when Mike had his today's special on New Year's Day, let me just kind of clue you in to a little heads up. What happened is he sold over 12,000. They were sold out hours before the day. I was supposed to have it at like 8 o'clock at night. It was going like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What was happening is now that the word is really kind of getting out, is people were buying a lot more than one. Now, I just put that information out there. So when you see that quantity left, you have to consider it's not a one-for-one order in this case. Well,
with a coin like this, people are absolutely, positively, 100% buying multiples.
They're buying more, hands down.
Because they understand,
especially on Flex.
Right, with that quantity rolling down so quickly, and you see that, okay, these are the only quantities that I'm going to have at $199.95. The demand on this is absolutely to the moon.
It is
what the thing. The demand is through the roof, unlike anything. Look, I've been doing this here for 2 decades.
Yeah.
I've sold millions of American Silver Eagles. This year, I have never, ever seen demand for the American Silver Eagle in all of the years that I have been doing this. This is a special, special, special year.
It is. Okay, with everyone calling what?
Less than 500, they said.
And
now if they all buy 2, then it's like 100.
Exactly. You know what, can I freak you out a little bit?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
FlexPay's $50. They could buy 4 coins on FlexPay for the cost of 1. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, that's...
So FlexPay, I'm gonna say for this show, is less than $50. You could, because you could get 1 on FlexPay, 2 on FlexPay, 3 on FlexPay. You could buy 4 coins on FlexPay, but up front, now those are interest-free payments, 30-day return policy, but up front, you can get 4 coins on FlexPay and spend what you would spend to get 1 coin home. That's if you could find it at a dealer, and nobody's going to absorb that 20% cost.
And that's the big thing, particularly with American Silver Eagles. You know, there's kind of special little considerations with that from a dealer.